Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you a video. Now, I've wanted to make this video for a while now. And I never got around to it. I finally have a chance to make it, and I'm not really happy about making this video. Well, I'm kind of happy because I get to get my opinion out there, but I want to be ranting a lot in this video. Let's just put it that way. Now, as you can tell from the title, down below, but YouTube changes so often, it could be up above, on the side, over here, over there's, who the hell knows where. This title is called WWE Creative Ruined Bray Wyatt. Reasons why. Now, you see, I'm pissed that I'm making this video because I didn't want to have to be put in the position to make this video. Because Bray Wyatt, if you think about it, he could have been a top guy in the WWE by now. He could have at least been a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion, something. He could have been really something in the WWE. He could be in the main event scene. He could be awesome. But right now, he's just nothing right now. He's a joke. He's not a complete joke, but he feels like a joke to me. Now, before I rant, for those of you that don't know the reasons, that either don't watch professional wrestling or you either have before and you have not watching the current state of professional wrestling, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a background about what's been going on. I'm going to talk about his career. I'm going to be like Wikipedia, except I'm going to actually tell you the truth. So, Bray Wyatt. If you didn't know, at first he didn't come in as Bray Wyatt. He came in as Husky Harris in the WWE. He was on Season 2 of NXT, and this was when NXT was when you got a pro and a rookie. Husky Harris was a pro, and he got Cody Rhodes as his pro. And he was called Husky Harris at the time, and he didn't win. If you had won, you would have gotten a future championship. You would have gotten a spot on the WWE roster, and you would have gotten a future championship match of your choosing at any pay-per-view. And Husky Harris didn't win. So what happened was during a match between John Cena and at the time known as Wade Barrett, who was the leader of the Nexus at the time, and at that time the Nexus consisted of Barrett, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Michael Tarver, and David Otunga, and somebody jumped and what John Cena got Barrett into the STF. And somebody jumped the ring, distracted the referee, and somebody that we didn't know hit Cena with a steel pipe, and Barrett won. And if Barrett had won, John Cena would have to join the Nexus. And if Barrett had lost, the Nexus would disband. And we later on would find out that those guys were Michael McGillicuddy, who was also on Season 2 of NXT, and none other than Husky Harris. And they eventually went on to join the Nexus. Yeah, that was really about it. The Nexus turned into the new Nexus because CM Punk took control, and it just ended up, disbanding. Then eventually Mason Ryan got into the group, and then eventually Randy Orton punted Husky Harris, took him out, and we didn't see Husky Harris ever again. Husky Harris was nothing anyways. I thought he had potential, but he was really silent. He never really wrestled that much. Husky Harris just was nothing. Then he goes down to, first he went back to FCW. Before he was in FCW. If you don't know what FCW stands for, it stands for Florida Championship Wrestling. And he became Bray Wyatt. He had the new character. He wore Hawaiian shirts. He had a hat. And he was just pretty much this creepy cult leader. Like a horror movie. That's what he became, Bray Wyatt. And I did my research, and he aligned himself, and he eventually took Eli Cottonwood, who was also on season 2 of NXT, and Eli Cottonwood became Luke Harper. Um, and Luke Harper is also known as Brody Lee from the independent scenes. Um, and they became together, and somehow eventually Bray Wyatt got Eric Rowan, and they became the Wyatt family. And not what happened. They eventually FCW went under. FCW was gone, and it became NXT. NXT became FCW pretty much, and I thought that was awesome because NXT is the best wrestling company going today. And the Wyatt family went on NXT. I don't really know a lot about what they did on NXT. One of the things I know that did is Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan went on to win the NXT Tag Team Championships, and then eventually they went up to the main roster. And Bray Wyatt cut this epic promo but on the Wyatt family's final night of NXT. And on NXT too, before he left, Wyatt, like not the date before he left, but a time before he left, Bray Wyatt got to wrestle Chris Jericho, which was pretty cool. Then they play these vignettes for the Wyatt family, and they were creepy. I was digging them. I was hyping their debut. They were playing these awesome video packages. This group had so much potential. This is a group that you would see in the Attitude Era. And if it was in the Attitude Era, it would be awesome. You know who Bray Wyatt actually reminds me of? He reminds me of Gangrel, and I have no idea why, but he just does. The Wyatt family reminds me of the Brood, and if you didn't know who was in the Brood, it was Gangrel, Edge, and Christian. They also remind me of the Undertaker's group, the Ministry of Darkness, which consisted of Undertaker, Gangrel, and Viscera. They remind me of them, and they're like a modern day version of them, not completely, but they remind me of them. And they were playing these vignettes, and eventually, after Kane beat Christian in a match on Raw, they debuted and they took out Kane, which was awesome because Kane was a monster, and it would make sense. And they kept attacking Kane, and eventually it led to a match. It led to a Bray Wyatt Kane feud, and I was hyped for that. And I forgot to mention too, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan always did the attack, and Bray Wyatt was like the evil cult leader. That's kind of what he was. Then eventually at SummerSlam, in a Ring of Fire match, which was pretty much an Inferno match, except you couldn't set your opponent on fire. You had to win by pinfall submission, which was stupid. And Bray Wyatt ended up beating Kane, and afterwards the Wyatt family took Kane out, and you didn't see Kane, which was really impressive. And the Wyatt family would continue to cut promos about it, which was planting a seed that Kane would join the Wyatt family. Then at Battleground, Bray Wyatt beat Kofi Kingston. It wasn't really much of a feud, but it was somebody in the mid-card that was doing a lot in the mid-card, so at least it gives Bray Wyatt somewhat of a purpose, and some credibility. Then he started feuding with The Miz, but they never had a match because Bray Wyatt legit got injured. Then Kane returned in Hell in a Cell when Harper and Rowan were beating down The Miz, and he beats down Harper and Rowan, and then he ends up chokeslamming Miz, hinting that he might join the group. Well, they didn't really go anywhere with that because Kane then became Corporate Kane, and then that all became bad, which I'm kind of pissed that I would have rather seen Kane have joined the Wyatt family just to see what they would have done with that, or at least another match between Bray Wyatt and Kane at Survivor Series, but it didn't happen. So then the next night on Raw, after Daniel Bryan was in a backstage interview segment, and the Wyatt family attacked Daniel Bryan, completely lay him out, and Sister Abigail him. And they take out Daniel Bryan, and then later on that night, they took out CM Punk. And I thought that was awesome. And then it leads to a match. Well, first though, doing a match between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan versus The Shield. The Shield consists of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. The Wyatts interfered in that, and they ended up having like a little brawl between the Wyatt family and The Shield, which I thought was cool. And then the next week it led to a tag team match. The Wyatts and The Shield teamed up, I believe, against Punk, Bryan, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. The and they lost that match, but it was still cool to see the Wyatt family in the Shield because they were both big stables coming up, so I thought that was cool. And then at Survivor Series, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan wrestled a tag team match against CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, then they lost. Then the next night on Raw, to redeem themselves, the Wyatt family had a handicap match against Punk and Bryan, and it all went to chaos. And then in the match, Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family, kidnapped Daniel Bryan, and we didn't see Daniel Bryan. He came back the next week and was fine, though. They did say he was disoriented afterwards, but, it was what it was. It leads to and Bray Wyatt's going on this journey where he wants Daniel Bryan to join the Wyatt family because he feels like that if they work together, they can take down the Machine, but Daniel Bryan refuses, and it leads to a 3-on-1 handicap match at the TLC pay-per-view, and TLC stands for tables, ladders, and chairs. And the Wyatt family win. Bray Wyatt had even started doing the exorcism walk. I forgot to mention he did that at Battleground, which was cool. And he did it again. And Bray Wyatt beats Daniel Bryan with his sister Abigail, which was awesome. I thought that was a really cool moment. And then eventually, on the last Raw of 2013, Daniel Bryan really wanted to get his hands on Bray Wyatt. He really wanted to get his hands on him. And Brad Maddox, who was the general manager at the time, made a gauntlet match, and Daniel Bryan had to go through each member of the group one-on-one to get to Bray Wyatt. So first he beats Luke Harper in a really awesome match, and then Eric Rowan, and he's about to wrestle Bray Wyatt, but Harper and Rowan come in, attack him, and then eventually Daniel Bryan just ends up joining the Wyatt family. He realizes that no matter what he does, the Machine is not going to push him, so he ends up joining the Wyatt family, which was awesome. And it's not like any bullshit like when John Cena joined the Nexus. He never wore the merchandise. Daniel Bryan was actually wearing like a kilt, and they would call him Daniel Wyatt. I thought when Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family, it was actually kind of cool. It was weird because you would picture it, but then eventually what happened was during a tag team cage match, it was the Usos versus Bray and Daniel Wyatt, and the Usos won the cage match, and Daniel Bryan had Bray Wyatt all by himself in the steel cage. Nobody could get to him, and Daniel Bryan just beats the crap out of Bray Wyatt and reveals the next week that this was all, a trick, because he realized that he couldn't beat Bray Wyatt by himself. He had to join the group. He had to get Bray Wyatt in there one-on-one. So then he announces that at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, Daniel Bryan gets to face Bray Wyatt because Harper and Rowan are in the Rumble match. It just leaves him one-on-one with Bray Wyatt, which I was pissed about because I really wanted Daniel Bryan to be in the Royal Rumble match, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's a different rant at a different time. Well, I've already talked about that, but you get what I'm saying. And then Bray Wyatt... we get that match, and Bray Wyatt beats Daniel Bryan 100% clean with the sister Abigail, which was really awesome for him because he just beat the top babyface in the company, in my opinion, at the time. And he beat a former WWE champion. It made Bray Wyatt look really strong. It sucked for Daniel Bryan, but it was good for Bray Wyatt. And then later on in the night, he attacked John Cena during his match against Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and cost Cena the championship. And he tries to do it again. Later on that night, it was John Cena, Sheamus, and Daniel Bryan versus The Shield. And whoever won that, the whole team would get a spot in the Elimination Chamber match. And the Wyatt family attacked Cena, to try to cost him. But since they attacked Cena, Cena's team won, and they all got spots in the chamber, and the Shield got screwed out of it. So the match got made between the Shield and the Wyatt family, which was awesome. It was an instant classic. It was a really good match. One of my favorite matches watching as a wrestling fan. I was really happy to watch that match. Two of the big groups facing off, and the Wyatt family ended up winning. They won in a convincing fashion. And it was awesome. It eventually became down to a 3-on-1 match between them and Roman Reigns. And Bray Wyatt beats Roman Reigns with the Sister Abigail. And then later on in the night, they cost Cena the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship again. And then Bray Wyatt starts his feud with John Cena going into WrestleMania. The one thing I have to say, though, is with this whole thing about the Wyatts versus the Shield, I think they should have done it at WrestleMania 30 instead, because it would have been so much better there, and it would have been awesome. But we didn't get it, and I'm not going to complain about it too much. So then, he faces John Cena. He's looking really strong. John Cena's even saying that he's scared of him because Bray Wyatt was talking about how everybody wants John Cena out of the WWE, wants him out of the main picture. Says that John Cena, I don't remember his promos exactly, but, that's pretty much what it is. And John Cena was even admitting that he was scared of him. Bray Wyatt was getting inside his head, and I really was enjoying that feud. I remember Cena was having a match with Luke Harper, and then they ended up tying him up in the ropes because the vignette, which I love the vignette too when it goes off. I think that's awesome. So then we get to WrestleMania 30. Bray Wyatt too hadn't lost one match on a pay-per-view. I don't even know if he ever lost a match at all, but on pay-per-view he never lost. And what happens? It's pretty much a 3-on-1 handicap match. Harper and Rowan are interfering in the match. Cena has to take them out. And you really needed to have Bray Wyatt win this match to make him look like a legitimate threat in the WWE. This would have really made him a star. And fucking John Cena wins. Which I totally expected. I totally expected that this was a chance to make Bray Wyatt a star, but the WWE wasn't going to do that. They were going to have fucking John Cena win. And I was pissed about that, because this was a chance to really put him over on the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania, and you didn't do it. But then the feud continues. Bray Wyatt is still getting inside John Cena's head. They started the whole world is in their hands. Then a couple of weeks later, what the fuck happens? Cena faces the Wyatt family in a 3-on-1 handicap match, and the Wyatts lose by disqualification. The Wyatt family, all three of them in a handicap match, can't even beat John Cena. That's bullshit. They're starting the whole world in his hands. Because Bray Wyatt's trying to influence the kids to turn on John Cena, which I liked. They do that whole segment on Raw where Bray Wyatt comes out. He sings with the kids, and they're all having goat masks. Well, sheep masks. Because Eric Rowan used to wear a sheep mask in the Wyatt family. And I liked it. And then it leads to a steel cage match at Extreme Rules between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Because John Cena wanted to have this match to keep Eric Rowan and Luke Harper from interfering. Which didn't make any sense, because Cena could just beat him when they interfered anyway, so it really hurts Bray Wyatt. What the fuck? And what happens? Pretty much it beats him in a 3-on-1 handicap match. Cena had taken out the Wyatt family. He was going to walk out of the cage and win, and then the lights go out, and it took a kid sitting in a robe for Bray Wyatt to beat John Cena. He hits the Sister Abigail, Wyatt escapes the cage. That doesn't... Now, it's a victory over John Cena, but is it really a victory? Because he needed a kid to do it. And John Cena could have just walked right by this kid. He didn't... I understand... It didn't make any sense. But Wyatt wins, and then it leads to a last man standing match, and John Cena has to get the Usos' help to help fend off Harper and Rowan, which doesn't make any sense, because Cena can do it by himself He did it by himself at WrestleMania, and then we get a last man standing match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt at Payback. John Cena wins that. Bray Wyatt really needed to win that match, and he literally buries him under a box. That is bad, and you know that. I thought that was terrible. That ruined Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt really needed that win. But they had a chance to rebuild him. He qualified for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match for the vacant title, and he didn't win that, which made sense because it's, he really wasn't ready to win that title, especially after that Cena feud. So then the night after Money in the Bank, Chris Jericho returned, and the Wyatt family attacked Chris Jericho, and I thought that was awesome, because that would have been really good for Bray Wyatt to have a feud with Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho would have put him over. So then at Battleground, Chris Jericho beats Bray Wyatt, and I'm not going to rant about that just because Chris Jericho loses so often when he's in the WWE. I think it made sense to have Chris Jericho win, because if Chris Jericho had won the first match, no, if Bray Wyatt had won the first match and they just had a second match, they really wouldn't be much of a reason to have it. So I thought it made sense for Chris Jericho to win. However, I do think they jumped the gun by having the first match too soon. I think they should have waited till SummerSlam to have the match. And you do a six-man tag team match between Jericho and the Usos versus the Wyatt family, because the Usos were feuding with the Wyatt family. And I thought that it would have made much more sense. And then they had the second match at SummerSlam. This time Harper and Rowan are banned from ringside. And Wyatt wins that convincingly. He looked really strong winning, which I thought was awesome. And yeah, I thought that was good. And they even started the whole thing, too, back when he was feuding with Cena, where everyone would light up those cell phones, like the flashlights, anytime they came out. I thought that really added to Bray Wyatt. I thought that was cool. Then what happens 2 weeks later on Monday Night Raw? John Cena returns after getting his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. And to make John Cena look strong, you throw Bray Wyatt out there to completely fucking bury him. He buries the Wyatt family, and Cena just buries them. And it fucking made no sense. You just finally made Bray Wyatt look strong. You finally revamped him. He felt legit, and he fucking fell flat. They just fucking decided to do that shit. That made no fucking sense. Then a week later, he beats Chris Jericho in a steel cage match, 100% clean, no bullshit, and then he beats the shit out of him afterwards, making him look really strong. And then he has a match with the Big Show, and Big Show makes the Wyatt family all look like a bitches. And then they just decide to, for no fucking reason, disband the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt just decides to set Harper and Rowan free. You really don't even give a reason why the Wyatt family's broken up. No fucking explanation whatsoever, which made no fucking sense. Fucking idiots. And then, during the Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match, because the show had broken up at that point, Dean Ambrose is beating the crap out of Rollins. He's about to win the match. And Bray Wyatt, well, the lights go dark, and we see a lantern in the ring. Wyatt, and it's like a hologram. Wyatt takes out Ambrose and helps Rollins win the match and cost him. And then you do a Wyatt-Ambrose feud. Wyatt at Survivor Series, Wyatt gets himself Ambrose gets disqualified, so Wyatt wins that match. And then Bray Wyatt beats him at TLC in a tables, ladders, and chairs match, which I thought was awesome, because it made Bray Wyatt look really strong. And then he wins the Christmas street fight or whatever it was on the Christmas Raw. And then he beats Ambrose in an ambulance match, which I thought really made Bray Wyatt look strong. And he talks about how he's going to win the Royal Rumble match. And you really make Bray Wyatt look strong in the Royal Rumble match. You have him clean house, eliminate a lot of guys in there. You have him last for a long time. I thought that was awesome for Bray Wyatt to do that. It really made him look strong. And then you have him beat Dolph Ziggler 2 weeks in a row in convincing fashion, which I thought was good. And then at Fastlane, Bray Wyatt had been talking about before this pay-per-view that he was targeting some mystery guy. We didn't necessarily know who it was. We weren't supposed to know, but we knew. And what happens at Fastlane, they tease that The Undertaker is going to return, but it ends up being Bray Wyatt instead. And he challenges The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania 31. And I thought that was cool stuff. I thought it made sense for them to have a match. For the character purposes, they should have done that match earlier in the year when Undertaker had a streak. And yeah, I thought they should have done that match earlier. And Bray Wyatt looks really strong. He keeps sending messages, and he's cutting great promos. He pretty much proves he can carry a feud by himself, because Undertaker didn't do anything in that feud except accept his challenge. He didn't show up, though, on Raw at all until WrestleMania, but it proved that Bray Wyatt can carry a feud, and he really sold me into wanting to see the match, even though I didn't think the match made sense because Undertaker just lost his streak. I thought that would be it, but, Then at WrestleMania, he loses to Undertaker, afterwards, Bray Wyatt looks completely irrelevant. He ends up going into a feud with Ryback, and he wins. He at least beat Ryback, which, I thought at first he looked completely irrelevant. That's made him look more relevant. But what I didn't like about the Ryback feud, and here's what I hated about the Ryback feud. Ryback at Extreme Rules was beating up Bo Dallas, and in real life, Bo Dallas is Bray Wyatt's brother. because Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are both the sons of the IRS guy that's with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He's his son. They're his sons. And Ryback attacked him. But Bray Wyatt just said this bullshit about Ryback. They just gave a bullshit reason. Well, Bray Wyatt, all he could have said was, "You attacked my family, and if you attack my family, you're gonna get the. You don't know what I'm capable of." He could have just said that, and that would have made the whole feud make perfect sense. And then you could have at Payback incorporated. And even though, what even was even more stupider was Harper and Rowan had just reformed as a tag team, which they shouldn't have even broke up as a tag team in the first place. And you could have reformed the Wyatt family and incorporated Bo Dallas. You could have had him join. I feel like Bo Dallas would fit the role as like the Wyatt family, as that creepy gimmick. I think that would be awesome. And but it didn't happen. But Bray Wyatt still won, and he looked really strong winning. But then he disappeared right after he lost. That's the problem with Bray Wyatt too. Is every time he's done with a feud, they take him off TV, whether he wins or loses. Like, what sense does that make? Like, how can you get behind somebody if you keep taking him off TV? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, let's just say, like, for example, you had a TV show. And there was, let's just do the Walking Dead, for example, because that's a TV show. Let's just say they were really building up Rick for something. You know, they were having him go through struggles, but then randomly they just took him off TV for no reason. And, you know, there it goes. Like with the Wyatt family breaking up, I'm going to do an example. Let's just say that for no reason at all, Rick just decided to leave the group. They gave no explanation why he was gone. Nothing. You know, that would it would make no sense. And it didn't make any sense. Let's do another example. Let's just say for no reason on a TV show called The Return, I saw one episode. I only saw one episode, but let's just say they decided to do something where a character came back and they just died again for no reason. They didn't give an explanation. You know, like, you can't just not give explanations to things. You can't just do whatever you want. You got to give some sort of explanation. And they didn't give an explanation why they would just take off Bray Wyatt. You can't get invested in somebody if you keep taking them off TV. So then, what happens? Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank is about to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Bray Wyatt cost him that, and since then they've been feuding, and they're doing this anybody but you thing, and yeah, that's really where we are right now. Now, a couple of problems I have with this whole Bray Wyatt-Roman Reigns feud. One, what does his daughter have to do with it? Because he's saying anyone but you, pretty much saying the fact that he got pushed to the top and he doesn't want to get pushed to the top. So what does his daughter have to do with it? He just brings his daughter into it for no reason. That's stupid. Another reason is Bray Wyatt's a loser. Bray Wyatt doesn't win any feuds. He can't win any feuds. He doesn't look credible at all. And Roman Reigns, you have him coming in there. He won the Royal Rumble, main event in WrestleMania, and nearly beat Brock Lesnar, who just conquered the streak, destroyed John Cena at SummerSlam, got up and just caused destruction after being put through an announcer's table, and having 3 broken ribs. Roman Reigns almost beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Do I really expect that Bray Wyatt's gonna beat Roman Reigns at Battleground? Are you serious? This guy couldn't beat John Cena in a 3-on-1 handicap match. Holy crap! Do I really expect that Bray Wyatt, of all people, is gonna beat Roman Reigns at Battleground? Holy crap! I don't know what's more likely, that happening or Kofi Kingston winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. Maybe that, actually. But holy crap! You're just fooling yourself right there. Holy crap. And another problem that I have with this is they just did this because they didn't want to give Roman Reigns the Money in the Bank contract. This feud makes no sense. You should have just given Roman Reigns the Money in the Bank. It was his time to win it, but they didn't do it. You know, you could have had him win the Money in the Bank. You could have had Roman Reigns turn heel on Dean Ambrose. You could have done something. But he didn't do it. You decided to put him in this feud. I don't even like the feud that much, I'm not going to lie. It's cheesy. It's corny. And another reason, too, is Roman Reigns technically beat Bray Wyatt in less than 10 minutes. They always have... Hold on, I paused. Roman Reigns beat Bray Wyatt in like less than 10 minutes after already wrestling 2 matches. So how the hell am I not going to believe that Roman Reigns isn't going to be able to beat him 100%? That just doesn't make any sense either. And now we're at the Bray Wyatt. You know what? And now I don't even like Bray Wyatt that much. I like the gimmick, but I just can't get invested in him anymore. His feuds are exactly the same now. He'll just cut promos on you. He'll attack you. And then eventually he'll just lose at the big match. You know, once it's time for him to lose, it's time for him to lose. He doesn't even wrestle that much on TV. He doesn't wrestle on Raw. He doesn't wrestle on SmackDown, Main Event, Superstar. He doesn't wrestle there. He doesn't even wrestle that much. You know, and this is supposed to be a full-time wrestler, and he never wrestles. Like, at least have him wrestle somebody. Have him wrestle and make him look strong. You just cut promos and expect this guy to look strong. How can he look strong? Holy crap! And, yeah, that's just stupid. They just... I feel like they ruined Bray Wyatt. Here's what you could have done with Bray Wyatt. You could have had him beat John Cena, even if he had to help at WrestleMania. Beat him at Extreme Rules. And if you have to have John Cena win the blow-up match, then fine. At least Bray Wyatt has 2 victories over Cena, and he can go into that with that. Do the same thing you did with the Chris Jericho thing. Do the same thing you did with the Dean Ambrose thing. And I don't even know if I would go with the Undertaker thing. I really don't. I'm just not sure. Just anything but what they did with Bray Wyatt, because they ruined that guy bad. To the point where I just don't really care. If he loses, to be honest with you, this Roman Reigns-Bray Wyatt match is a lose-lose situation. If Roman Reigns loses, he went from main event in WrestleMania to losing to a guy that can't win any matches and can't win any feuds. That's the problem with Bray Wyatt, is he can't win any feuds. He lost the feud with Cena. He lost the feud with Taker. And he's going to lose this feud. Case closed. And when he wins it, and, you know, he doesn't really, you know, whatever. He may have won the Ryback feud, but I think maybe Ryback won because he ended up getting the Intercontinental Championship and Bray Wyatt didn't. It's just stupid. And what else was so stupid about this feud? But if Roman Reigns beats Bray Wyatt loses another match, he'll disappear for a while, come back, feud with somebody else, and probably lose that. A way to build Bray Wyatt back up, put him back down to the mid-card, have him win the IC title from Ryback, then you build him up that way. But they're not going to do that because they're stupid, and I don't get it. They just ruined Bray Wyatt for no reason, and this is why they can't make stars in the WWE. This is why they fail, because they just dig themselves a hole. They really need to do... Maybe take Bray Wyatt off TV, put him down on NXT, and have him revamp himself that way. I don't know. You could have reformed the Wyatt family this year. Didn't do it. I just don't know what they can do to revamp Bray Wyatt, you know? There's probably stuff they can do, but crap. And yeah, that's about it. So that's the end of this rant. Tell me if you agree. Wait, don't even tell me if you agree. This isn't a... By the way, I'm just not even... This isn't an opinion. You know, this isn't an opinion. This is fact. If you think this is just an opinion, you're fooling yourselves. Just clearly look at it. Just look at it. Bray Wyatt can't win any feuds. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. Cena, Taker, can't win any feuds. You can say, well, that's just 2 feuds. But he doesn't feud with anybody. You know, really anymore. You know, Bray Wyatt, they've made him suck. I don't even care about Bray Wyatt really anymore. He can cut good promos, But I don't feel afraid of this guy because he can't win. If I was feuding with this guy, I would get on the microphone and say, why should I be afraid of you? You can't win any matches. You're a fucking loser. That's not... So this all... This, you don't even... I don't even want to hear disagreements. I don't want to hear any of that shit. Because Bray Wyatt being ruled by creative is a fucking fact. This isn't an opinion. If you think this is an opinion... then you're, by God, mistaken. That was really cheesy, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not trolling, by the way. It sounds like I'm trolling, but I'm not. They merely made this guy fucking suck. He just fucking sucks right now. You know what? Fuck Bray Wyatt. You know what? I don't give a shit what they do with them. They're not gonna be able to fix this because the creator fucking sucks. It's not just Bray Wyatt that ruined himself, it's the fucking creative. Fucking creative fucking sucks. Just fuck. Fuck you, creative. Fuck you. You ruined stars. Anybody has a chance to be a star in the company, but as long as you're working under the WWE creative, you're fucking screwed. And I want this to be a message to tough enough contestants. Whoever wins tough enough, good fucking luck working with the WWE creative, because you'll be a fucking joke. And I'm being fucking serious. You know those characters you came up with, ZZ? Vince McMahon probably would have used that to punish you. He probably laughed at that, and he already has that plan if you went tough enough to make that your gimmick. And you know what? He's gonna make you suck. Oh, yes. All these guys coming up from NXT, Vince McMahon just fucking buries them. Fucking Bray Wyatt's in a perfect one. Fucking Bo Dallas. To be honest with you, he's planning on doing that with Neville, but it didn't fucking happen, thank fucking God. He did it with Big E. He did it with Xavier Woods. Yeah, he did. You did it with fucking, Emma. So bad that she had to go fucking back down to NXT. He did it with Cesaro. He's very fucking Cesaro bad. You know, just fuck you, Vince. Fuck Kevin Dunn, too. You know, Kevin Dunn just needs to be fucking fired. Just fuck. Fucking Kevin Dunn. Just fuck him right to the ground. Fucking bury that guy. Bury that guy 6 feet under. Who else is the fucking blame? Fucking Stephanie McMahon. Holy fuck. Just fuck this company. For fucking ruining guys that could be main event stars. Dean Ambrose is another one. They're revamping him now, but he was on a fucking losing streak. Fucking Adam Rose. He could be something. Not main event, but he could be in the good mid-card. Holy fuck. Fucking Kid Barrett. Holy fuck, you ruined Kid Barrett, Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Holy fuck! Fucking Justin Gabriel! You fucking ruined him too! So bad that he fucking quit the company! Fucking Titus O'Neil! When you broke him up at when you broke up the primetime players, which consist of Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, you fucking ruined them! You didn't have any plans for them! You just fucking... Well, you know what you fucking did? You just fucking decided to bring him up just because you fucking can. You didn't even follow to finish a Golden Stardust feud. You wanna know why you didn't finish that? Cause you just decided to be done with it. Vince, just cause you don't like something doesn't mean other people like something. Fucking stop it. Just fucking retire, Vince. Nobody wants to see this shit. Holy fuck. John Cena is gonna retire eventually, and you built the company around him. You are gonna be screwed. You're gonna be screwed. Holy fuck. And I'm not saying John Cena's retiring any soon. Don't even think that I said that shit. But once John Cena retires, Vince McMahon's not gonna know what to do with his company. Cause he builds the company around John Cena. Holy shit. Triple H, you need to take control. Triple H needs to become the chairman because Triple H has consistency. Paul Heyman needs to be running this shit. Because this shit sucks with Bray Wyatt. I don't want to see this happen to anybody else. Bray Wyatt has a good gimmick, but it doesn't fucking matter because Bray Wyatt got buried. The WWE creative had a match with Bray Wyatt and they won. Holy fuck. Tyson Kidd's another example. He could have been in the mid-card a while ago. Holy shit. The fucking New Day gets pushed and wins matches over fucking Bray Wyatt. Holy fuck. Roman Reigns is gonna fucking beat Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt's gonna look like a fucking bitch. Just fuck you, Vince. Fuck you for this shit. You know what? I'm done talking. You can subscribe to all that shit. My non-wrestling channel where I don't have to hear Kevin Dunn and Vince McMahon ruin people like The Walking Dead. Holy fuck, if they got a hold of that show, I never watch that shit again. You can check out my CM Brothers channel where I talk about both, and they'll probably ruin shit there. You can watch James the He-Man Hebert's channel, and holy fuck, I'm too pissed. Just fucking subscribe to my channel, and fuck, just fuck.